Good morning. Welcome to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you're toking up and tuning in because you know I sure do and I'm having a great morning today. Going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. We got Senator Connie Johnson. She's running for governor. Hoorah with that. We've also got 788 collections. They've got a wide variety of products. I do like a lot of them. And we've also got Doc Ferguson, Rock On. He's got some great diamonds and stuff. Double Down Dabs and Okie applesauce. You bet. Love them, love them.
Yum.
I'm sitting here talking with Pamela Sativa and Jen, good friends of mine, and we got some cool stuff going on. What we got going on?
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day! Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Happy
You
Mother's
bet.
Day to everybody.
Yeah.
I'll call your mother. If you haven't called your mother, call her because that's the only woman in your life that's going to love you your entire world life, whether you're a man or a woman. Cool.
Yeah. Reach out, say hi.
Always,
Oh,
yeah.
That embrace, absolutely.
Call your
Always
children
reach
too.
out.
Make sure if you've got daughters, make sure that you're reaching out to them to let them know.
There you go.
Yeah. So.
Cool.
Well, and sometimes it's difficult to reach out. You might have a little baggage. You gotta
But
get over
sending
that.
out your love, even if you're not communicating, sending out your love and appreciation for that life is key today to remember what we were given and what is given on to others.
Yeah, that is a great subject because, like you say, even if you do have some baggage with people in your family, reach out and because there's no need. Life is too short.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and a lot of us, we don't even understand our divine femininity and how we reach out to other women, how we interact. So, I think that we've got some groups starting to understand.
We were talking about that earlier. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely bring in, more people together to share their awareness and their love and their peace and joy and happiness.
Now, you're going to be doing this, we were talking about this earlier. You're going to be doing this where?
We're going to start, I think, at Plant Med.
There you go.
Or just gathering up women and men just who are wanting to give
respect, let's just say, Mother Earth.
Yeah,
Okay.
respect to Mother Earth and our appreciation for what is given to us.
Okay, now if you start talking about Mother Earth, you're getting into something I absolutely love because we all know I hate plastic with a passion. With a passion.
Yeah.
And that's why I'd love to see hemp involved in so many things. Because I'm driving around, we're talking about the turnpike that they're trying to run through my area right now. I drive around a lot of roads, y'all drive a lot of roads. I hate these new roads that have potholes in them in 6 months. I would like to see the study done on hempcrete, how long hempcrete will survive.
Oh, well, now we're talking about sustainability, and
There
you're
you
going to get me going.
Yeah,
on
this is
one.
her field. This is what she loves.
Because I'm a clubhouser. If anybody doesn't know what Clubhouse is in a platform, and there's many, many rooms in this. You can talk about everything. There's a lot of cannabis activation, a lot of sustainability. What we don't have is an understanding of the need for hempcrete and tiny homes.
Oh, yeah. I agree there.
I propose to the general public in our cannabis field that if you had crete homes or tiny homes on your piece of property, that should be part of your employment package. That'd be a great write-off for you. I'm very experienced in businesses, and I'm here. I came to Oklahoma 4 years ago to advocate for the people. I have been in it tooth and nail, and I do understand the matrix here.
Because we did meet 4 years ago.
Absolutely.
I met you when you first came in.
Dude, let's just throw Jay under the bus. Sorry. Green Grove, sorry. Okay, all right.
Green Grove, yeah.
My ass comes down here. Okay, so I'm some hot shot from Colorado that made me an out-of-stater. Your ass is in trouble right now. Oh, okay. My mirror fell off, and I had duct tape on the window. It didn't even qualify me to be okay.
Well, yeah, that does, yeah.
No, it didn't. Fuck no. Damn it.
Stop it.
Stop it!
So, 4 years ago,
make a
Green Grove.
positive out of two negatives. So, yeah. So I came down here because the state needed help with rigs, dab rigs. We legalized 788. I started looking at that in April of 18. I studied it hard. I got here and November of 18, and I brought glass and rigs with me because you didn't have any. There were none anywhere. And being the person and the marketer I am, I ran into the best companies throughout the state. So I went from Ada to Woodward, which I call Weedward, by the way. And
Awesome. Weedward has got some really great growers out there.
They do.
I really like a drip cultivation is one. And it's
Cool.
just impressive to see, you know, this farmland that's being turned over to our
Oh yeah,
campus area.
turned over and around.
Yeah.
Now you talk about coming down here with glass. Now that was, we can bring up the Friendly Market. See,
Mhm.
they were busted with a bunch of pipes. And
that's
stuff.
right. And I went down to Norman and talked to him about this. Absolutely. And what's the
Now they've got the display case that the police had to give back to
Oh.
them. I love that. All the pipes and everything, the bongs,
Yeah.
stuff like that. They went through the trial. They were found innocent because this whatever went through that. But they've got a display case with the Norman transcript article about the owners getting busted with the
Yeah.
pipes.
Wow.
well, I came down, I had like, you know, my car was loaded full of rigs, and I go up to Jay. Now, you know, he's like, you know, busy. He's got his shit. He's got his stuff going on. I'm terrible at this. He's got his stuff going on, and
I love it. There's stuff
and
going on.
literally, he said, "Lady, you cannot come to my event. You didn't make a reservation. You didn't pay." And I'm like, "But buddy, I gave up my whole life to come to your event." He just didn't get it. So I went in there and like, and I found Mr. Green, and then Mr. Green had an empty table, just, you know, appropriate to me. And so, you know, I gave him a really nice rig. He gave it away, and I got a table, and poor Jay goes, "What?"
I remember that. I walked up to you just as you were setting up. Yeah.
I know. You had to give me a hamburger.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Got you a hamburger.
It's a cobweb. I'm like,
See, sometimes people at the booths and stuff, if you're the only person manning that booth, you can't get away. And we get hungry just like everybody
Yeah.
else.
Definitely. It's like, it's nice when you get that, you know, bottle of water. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Someone helps you with a bottle of water, you know, a barbecue sandwich, some chips, just whatever. You bet.
Yeah, to keep that
Well,
energy going. 'Cause
yeah.
It takes a lot of energy when you're at these events having to talk and educate of whatever your booth is
well,
about.
I think that was one of the best events in Oklahoma.
It was a fun one, yeah.
Yeah, because
They do an
the
incredible job.
newness, everybody was trusting everybody. There was such camaraderie.
Oh
and,
yeah.
oh my gosh, and the smiles, and hey, I'm. You know, it was just different that first year when we had those events. It really was. So I'd like to see more of that feel.
I love it
This
because that
summer,
goes back to
yeah.
the old hippie era to me. You know, peace, love, dove.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to see more. Right now, we're separated into, you know,
Yeah, right now it's separated.
and
A lot of
I
people
know
are
that
separated in
we're
the
all
business
wanting
part
to
of it.
come
Yeah.
and collab, or just, you know, just show our love and appreciation for this plant and what it is doing
Yes, ma'am.
for
I
our
agree with that
patients,
100%.
you know.
You
So,
bet.
and I know that's where our hearts are. That's why we got into this industry. So we're gonna get back there. It's just gonna take time, work, and effort from everybody, you know.
It's
Absolutely.
people coming together.
Yeah.
I always push
Yeah.
that so much. You know, once we start, we are such a powerful force. Once we come together, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it really is. So
Well, and it's like we're being attracted together. You know, like minds are just attracting to each other. And I've always encouraged, ever since I've been in this industry, for more community and camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to build our outreach. We really need to build our outreach. So if we got any dispensary owners or managers in there, I'm going to drop a diamond right now. Everybody should have one employee 4 hours a week reach out to your community. What are you spending? 60, 80 bucks to have somebody reach out and have a little different thought about how you're going to reach maybe a mom and pop. I don't know if you all know that what I'm really passionate about is death with dignity.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay, now we're going to sit here. I'm gonna expand on that because I would love to see every dispensary have an employee that could show up at the Capitol when we needed them, or just wherever events that we need
well,
them, stuff
those
like
are the
that, and come
subgroups
together.
that we do need. We
Right.
do need, and being part of the charter school movement
Mhm.
back in the '90s, there are techniques to organizing our community. My senior community, I mean, honestly, that it's sad. They think cannabis is the devil's lettuce. They're tore up, and I'll
tell you what, on the
it's
devil's
gonna hit-
lettuce, we're going to take a short break because I'm going to do some devil's lettuce on our commercial break. You know how it is. All right, I'm sitting here talking to Pamela Sativa and Jen. All right, cool, rock on down, Father.
Quality be high, but the price is low. Only way I come down on the price is if you buying bulk. Tree funds, got a green thumb, I feel like I'm the hoe. Never knew.
Fashion, high fashion, high fashion, yeah, fashionista, yeah, fashion killer, fashionista, yeah, fashionista, fashion over, wardrobe, yeah, designer clothes, yeah, fashion show, this a fashion hoe, touch your toes, she look like Britney, hey, really big, Scotty got me up, drip from next season, I look clean as fuck, if I really.
Niggas mad at write my shit off top. Niggas ain't getting high like this. Yeah, big gas on a night like this.
Good morning. Welcome to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you're toking up and tuning in because I love them breaks. In fact, we brought up the Castillo Farms 4F Grow Contest. We got several people that are testing doing home tests on the grow plants that they had. Really, really good stuff in my opinion.
Oh, yes, absolutely. The competition was great.
It rocked. Yeah, I had a good time.
I was not able to make it.
Oh, bummer.
I know. I totally missed it. I don't know. I cannot remember what happened. I actually just had a health issue about 4 weeks ago, so wasn't events.
You know,
would have
that's
been
one thing we
a
were
little bit
talking about.
overstimulating for me, so that's why I've kind of laid off on the events.
That's one
for
thing
the
we
last-
were talking about is addiction, you know, because we've all opiates. I think you're an opiate addict too.
Oh, well, I had my share. I have a titanium hip and femur.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
So
So we do work on the education because we all got off opiates. And, I don't know what you did. I know Jen, you got off opiates with cannabis.
I was going to a doctor, a pill mill for years. So I was
Right.
a patient that was given it. Now I had my history of,
Yeah, I
seeking
understand.
it out. But no, I was the one that was pushed a ton of medication for many
Right.
years. It was like 5 to 6 years, and I finally made the decision that I didn't want to be trapped. You know, I knew that I could feel
You
better
got
and
sick
feel
of being sick. is what
Yeah,
I
of
get-
course.
yeah.
Sick of being sick. You know, that's
That's
so typical. You know, sobriety. You know, path. So it's
And you were like me, a zombie in a chair. You know, zombie in a chair. That's why I was when I was on the opiates. You know, and the Xanax and all the other stuff like that. Now we talked about the different ways we got off of it. You got off of it one way. Now I went cold turkey. I do not recommend the way I got off opiates and stuff.
I've had to do the cold turkey because you run out of stuff and
You
there's
run
no-
out, yeah.
You know, it's like whoa. I mean, that gets my heart pumping because it makes me sick too.
Just
because
thinking about it,
I can understand and relate to it. And I made that decision to slowly wean off of 10 to 12 different types of medications.
And that's incredibly hard to do
It
by
is
yourself.
because
isn't it?
you can't because when you stop taking a medication, you have to let your body slowly adjust to those lower milligrams.
Mhm.
You have to be very not really precise, but
You have to be very regimental, in my opinion, because I've tried the weaning off, and I would sit there and I'd cut down from I use 10 milligram hydrocodone today. I would try to cut down to 5 and 4, and I could
was
do
having to break them down to halves. So I was on 30 milligram Roxy's for 5 years, 6
Right.
years, and before that I had a little period of about a year and a half doing them. So just having to come off of that, and what the psychological part that it does to your system,
Oh, yeah.
along with the physical part, trying to come off of these, knowing that this is what's causing my restless leg, my sleep deprivation, or oversleep, or
And I would have the problem, I would try to reward myself. I said, okay, you've gone 3 days, taken 4. Okay, today
that third day.
you cannot reward yourself. You've got to be, you've got
to allow your body to feel pain and to adjust to having those emotions,
right.
And coping skills. So, and it's very difficult, and if you don't have a support system, it makes it even more difficult, because you feel like you're all alone, and I felt like I was all alone constantly battling this, but there's so many people that do battle addiction.
Right. I have to give a shout out to my wife and our children, because they supported me so much, because they all saw when I was on the opiates and stuff. Our daughter said, I've watched you try to eat a sandwich for 30 minutes. You know?
I mean, my kids, and that's the thing, I've got adult children, and it sucks. They've seen that nod off to where you're falling into your food, you're driving and nodding off and having to get bumped.
I'm calculating.
I mean, it's just different things that children, had to see, for their own experiences.
And that's why I hate
people
pharmaceuticals so much.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And that's the thing is, I don't take any pharmaceuticals. I definitely have several health problems, and that's why I was prescribed so many different medications. It's like, oh, you've got this problem, so you got to take this. Well, then I was in. So,
right.
a vicious cycle.
I know you're chomping at the bit. No hands are shy. I got to say something.
I'm looking left, I'm looking right. I'm like, hang on. Okay. Let me just open your mind a little bit. Okay, pharmaceuticals are all oil-based. Back when our institutions were starting to do research on what that power and control needed, they needed more power and more control.
Oh, yeah.
What they had was oil. So we divided our horticulture standings and our oil-based standards. We separated that, and all pharmaceuticals are oil-based. So we're down the line. A doctor knows when they start you on one particular pharmaceutical that you in time will take all of these others. They already have that mapped out. It's up to us to be our own advocate. So now that we have THC coming forward, understanding the endocannabinoid system, we have receptors 1, receptors 2. Receptor 1 is for inflammation and that pain relief saturation. So once you start doing THC with CBD, and then just nightly dosing with RSO, the 1 rice grain. I am on that note concerned about people who are taking like the ropes that are 1 whole gram, and they're taking that much. I think that's a little much for the digestive system. I'm 5 years on RSO, so I have a little bit different perspective because of the timeline. But
and I do use RSO myself. I use it for my
pain
insomnia,
management.
pain, night terrors.
That's what helped me. So that's what helped me to actually wean down off of the opiates and Neurontin, Dilantin, different, medications. Yeah. I bumped my RSO up. Now I ended up doing a regimen for about 90 days of doing over 1,000 milligrams a day. Now I had to slowly get my body used to that, because I was not used to consuming
You can't just jump right.
And there is,
wait a minute.
That's a lot to get your body adjusted
that's
to.
A little much.
Yeah,
and you only do half a rice grain. 5 to 7 days later, you increase it to a full rice grain. 5 to 7 days later, you increase it to a gram and a rice gram and a half, and you do that consistently for about 30 to 40 days until you're at your full rice grain, and do a 60-day of 1,000 milligrams. This is when you're treating autoimmune cancers, that kind of thing, to get that body reset, and then you slowly wean back down, and you will get to a plateau where your body needs to be. So with me, it was the epilepsy, trying to stabilize that.
Okay, I got to throw in there, this is all in our own researched opinion.
This is what I have had for myself.
Yeah, just in our opinion.
Yeah, this is just what I've done in my own,
Absolutely.
because there is not enough research
Exactly.
for different for patients and the cannabis, the different cannabinoids with the endocannabinoid
You
system.
know-
We're still trying to figure out what will work in educating the patients on how to dose properly, what terpene profile works for them.
Well, like I
Dude,
always
we're
say,
having that problem
So,
in
and it's-
growing.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
because, okay, I'm a grower, so let me just tell you, out in the field, we don't even know what insects really like our crops because they don't know. They haven't been out there long enough. So,
okay.
yeah.
On that note right there, we're going to take a short break. I'm sitting here talking to my good friend Pamela Sativa and Jen. We've been covering some great subjects. I
Been
hope you
awesome,
toke back-
thank you. Appreciate this. So.
Okay, toke up and tune back in because you know I'm going to. Ping!
Hey, hey, hey. Sheesh. Top shelf, top shelf, top shelf, top shelf.
Good morning. Welcome to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you token up and tuning in because you know I love them breaks, don't we?
We do. And
Yes.
happy Mother's Day.
Oh, happy
Yes,
Mother's
happy
Day to all the
Mother's
mothers
Day.
out there and all the mothers here, you bet.
Thank you, thank
Now
you.
I'm sitting here talking with Pamela Sativa and Jen right on. Now we got some product here. Now this is cool. Now this is from 420. That's a dispensary in
Ponca City.
Ponca City. Okay.
Yes.
That's the pink mango.
I like that right there. Now this is Pinky Mangoo.
Yeah, that's my pink mango.
Okay, now this is the award-winning Pinky Mangoo from the Castillo Farms 4F Grow Contest. Right on.
Oh,
Oh,
now
okay.
let me say, all right. So next year, everybody bring your game face because what we're going to look for is structure. and
Pamela's
that
throwing
goes
down.
a-
Pamela's throwing down.
Hey, that's not the buds I brought for that.
Huh?
I don't.
Those
know.
are my structure buds.
That's
my
okay.
duff.
All right. So if you
What
want
is
to
this,
talk to
Infinity?
me, yeah.
Okay, now this is Infinity. I really like the Infinity
Infinity
too.
Stone.
Now I had a combination of Infinity Pinky Mangoo earlier. Joint.
Yes. And yes, still feeling
I
it.
lo-
Definitely.
we can-
and
This is when we get down and start talking about the terps because I love the terps on this.
Well, I'm going to drop a diamond right here. If you've ever seen me smell, I go right to left, left to right, and then I go straight on. There is a reason for this. Much like we have glasses, left and right side work separately.
You're gonna
So,
get scientific here. on
inhale,
this.
inhale, inhale, and then straight on is like putting the pair of glasses on. So enjoy your terps. Smell them
Okay.
differently. Enjoy
What that would do
blend.
to well,
Now, hang
now
on,
wait,
hang
okay,
on.
now
That's
I'm
cool.
going to invite you
I
out
wanna
to
do
talk
this
to
now.
me. I'm going to be giving some classes out at Mary
Okay.
Jane's Dank House out
Cool.
on Council
Yeah.
on the 26th. And we're going to have some joint rolling contests. We're going to talk about micro dabbing, cold starts, terpenes
Oh, yeah, I like
at
cold
a
starts.
lower
Yeah.
levels. We're going to talk about microdosing, RSO. Are you a tincture person, an edible person?
Right.
Maybe why you shouldn't be an edible person.
right there
So,
you go.
Very
We're gonna start
awesome.
having a lot more classes.
Okay, now
so-
what I was going with is now when you go left to right, when you start on your left side, that's stimulating your right side brain. Then you go to your right
That's
side, and it
really
stimulates your left side. Then you go frontwards, that gets both sides of your brain. So the terps are hitting, and you're really
Well,
appreciating the full spectrum there.
absolutely,
That's in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I have always done that. And okay, so let's just go over it once more. So when you go in, out, and then in, and it will change the aroma.
It
We have flavonoids along with the terpenes, so our flavors are, we are a slave to our taste
I love the, because I do a dry hit on a joint.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, I always do a dry hit.
You bet.
I take the
Smell.
time to be a connoisseur.
Mm-hmm.
So if we slow our butts down a little bit,
Oh, that's
let's
so hard to do.
understand about being connoisseurs. We've raced to the table, and I would like to see a little more delicacy in the program. Thank
I
you.
would too, yes. Now,
Yes, most definitely. I
Mhm.
mean,
now I
would
like the
that.
entire ritual whenever we start talking about that. I like it from the time I start. I look at the bud. I love feeling the bud. I feel how it's smelling it, and then I break it down. I'm a grinder person. Some people years ago I got a friend of mine got onto me for cutting it up with scissors. But in my opinion, that always released the terps where I could smell it
Yeah,
better.
they squish the shit out of them.
You keep rocking those verbs there, don't you? So, and then once I get it in the grinder, and I love putting it in, and I'll roll a 1 gram joint, so I'll put it in there, and then I can really push it on my fingers. I take a dry hit. Now, I hate the butane hit, the first hit with the butane. I hate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I've done the electric lighter. You ever tried those?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about it in
Yeah.
a car, but they've got
Yes.
that little 40. Those are cool.
Well, those used to work good in the day. Dude.
Oh, yeah, we used to do hash off our electric lighters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
we did a lot of
that would
aluminum
be.
foil too.
That was the
Oh
first
yeah,
one I-
yeah. We're talking old school here now, because now I freaked them
cool.
out when I showed them the cup up here.
Okay.
How to do
Going
that.
old school. Okay. Brickweed.
Brickweed,
Okay.
yeah.
Brickweed,
Yeah,
Okay. Let's talk about that shit for a
Okay.
minute. I'm not a very good boo grandma, am I? She's not watching. Wouldn't matter.
Okay, so brickweed.
Brickweed.
Had a ton of seeds
All
in
right. Okay. No. So they condense the stuff down wherever it came from. So tight. Oh yeah. Squish seeds. A lot of black beetles. Remember? We
Yeah.
got a lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
black
yeah.
beetles. All right. However, back in we're the same age.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that stuff would have the very first shatter.
Okay,
And
yeah, I
we
can see
thought
that.
it was rocks. And we were just talking the bugs and the stems and the squished
Well, back then,
seeds.
and
And it was literally shattered from the compression. Yeah.
I smoked it all, man. I'd grind it up and smoke it.
You like
Yes.
the Beatles? Hey, Beatles.
Coffee
you-
Well, see,
grinder,
we always
grinder,
thought it popped back then. We always thought that was the little bugs in there that was popping.
It was.
Seeds.
No, it wasn't.
Seeds.
Dude, the seeds were mutilated.
Oh, the seeds. Oh, yeah.
Oh, if you found a seed, it was like,
I used-
yeah.
Well, nowadays you
I
find
got
a
a
seed.
crop.
But back then, there were seeds so plentiful that sometimes you'd put one in a joint, and I had seed burn holes, all my clothes.
Oh, dude, remember? It wasn't even called an ounce. It was called a 4-finger.
Four fingers, yeah, right on.
4 fingers. As much stuff as you could squeeze in there. That 4
Okay, now
fingers.
we can go
Form a
back
big-
to back in the day when people were buying the 4-finger lids is what we call it.
Yeah,
4-finger
yeah,
lids.
yeah.
People you started out $10.05 and $10 an ounce.
A lot of oregano went around.
Oh yeah.
I mean, straight oregano. No
But
kidding.
back then, when people were paying $25 an ounce,
Allegedly.
I had a guy that grew some stuff that was so good. The terps were just off the scale. It tasted like a Christmas tree smelled. I loved it. Back then, I didn't know I was doing the terps and stuff. I just thought it was so good. But I love that. And I paid
A good old
$125
grower
an
here in
ounce for that.
Oklahoma.
Wow.
I don't know where it came from, ma'am. I don't care.
Oh, allegedly.
But yeah, it was probably here from Oklahoma. Is what I'm ciphering up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's outdoor grow.
Well, we didn't know anything. We didn't have closets back
Didn't
then.
have closets. You didn't have your grow tents. Now that's what I always say about Oklahoma outdoor grows. The wind here makes a hardy plant. I mean, she's got to work to grow.
Well, I think for a long time, a lot of the plants were crossed with this racem that you got going on here. That wild, is it Cincy? What is the plant? Do you know which plant is wild in the fields here? Cincy 99.
Oh, yes,
Cindy
that's the
nine?
one I've heard about.
Yes, I think
just
it
heard
is.
something
Cincy
recent about
99 has
it.
been
It's
rampant for like 40
synthetic,
years.
yeah.
Well, this stuff,
And they're
that,
just
he
now
called it
finding it.
Sensimilla, and
It's
I
a
know
leverage, too.
Sensimilla stands for without seed.
Yeah.
But they would give us $10 for every seed we found in it too.
Dude, they still get that crap.
Yeah.
Look, you can pay $10 for a seed and $6 for a gram extract. We're
Right
all
on.
backwards.
Yeah.
Wait, I like those odds.
Huh?
I like those odds.
I do too. I do too. That's right on.
Okay. This
Yeah,
is why
we're gonna
I'm
start
now
having a
the
lot more
cannabis
educational.
horticulturalist.
Yeah. You're the grower. I'm not a grower. I am working on my Piggy plant, and I'm getting some input from other growers. In fact, I'm getting some input from the winner of the Piggy contest. And that would be
Is
the
that
Dab
sign
Father
language?
710. Huh?
Is that sign language?
Yeah, that's the Dab Father 710 telling me I need to smell some Piggy
Yeah.
Well, this is like awesome.
That- I do. I mean, the turfs on both these are just really, really good.
Well, I like this one because it's unique. It's not the normal. Well, neither one of these are normal for. I'm sorry. I didn't really say that. Okay.
Have you seen?
That's a
Have you smelled the Frankenstein?
What?
Have you smelled the Frankenstein?
No.
Oh, the Frankenstein just rocks. Now that's a guy that 5 years he just interbred all
No,
kinds of
I
stuff.
think I
Yeah.
ran into the.
Now the
Frankenstein.
leaves on it are just too wild.
This is where
They're
keeping a
huge.
journal is important.
Yes, it is.
Really, they're huge.
Oh
Are
yeah,
they
yeah.
11 fingers?
There's 11 to 15 fingers on them. Some of the leaves, they look like
And they're
banana
from
tree
seeds.
leaves.
Most
They're
11
huge.
fingers come from seed, not clone.
I don't know. Does anybody know where to get clones?
Well, we're going to be covering clones now. You're having
Yes.
educational classes.
Yeah.
Are you
We'll
going to
talk.
cover clones? You're going to cover cloning.
Okay.
Are you going to cover dabs? We got 1 minute, ma'am. We got to get it all in
I'm
there.
the
There's a lot
cannabis
that we can-
horticulturalist. I have a website, and I'm the.
What is your
cannabis-
website?
The cannabis horticulturalist.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, but I'm at Mary Jane's on the 26th. Let's get some classes.
Okay, Mary
Look
Jane's,
for
where's
me
that
at
located
Plant
at?
Meds. It's out on Council.
Council
We got a
and
dispensary, a glass shop. We got it all.
Facebook,
And
social media,
lots of
Facebook,
more
Instagram.
meetings coming up. Women's meetings, grow meetings. Let's understand. Let's do some classes. We need moms and children.
Yes.
Moms
Yes.
and children.
Education, you bet. All right, on that
I'm
right
down.
there, you've been watching Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you enjoyed. We're off like a herd of turtles. Hinga.
Quality be high, but the price is low. Only way I come down on the prices if you buying bulk. Tree funds, got a green thumb, I feel like I'm the hoe. Never knew. Niggas mad that I write my shit off top, niggas ain't getting high like this. Yeah, big gas on a night like this.
Welcome back to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you toke up and tune back in because you know I love them breaks. I'm going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. I've got Senator Connie Johnson running for governor. You bet, right on. We've got Doc Ferguson. He's got some great products. Got them Double Down Dabs. I love Double Down Dabs. And Okie Applesauce. You bet, right on. 788 collection. They got a wide variety of products. Now I'm sitting here talking with Shamama and Pamela Sativa, and we've got another little person up here for our Mother's Day show. This is so cool.
This is story.
This is a story right here. This is the
She's
future.
a little story, but one day she's gonna have a big story.
Okay,
That's
cool.
her name story.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Mhm.
Cool. And I'm trying not to wake her up. I'm a great grandpa, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But she's doing great, just sleeping away. Cool. Now, we were sitting here talking a little bit beforehand. We were going to highlight some of the stuff that y'all are going to be doing. You're doing educational classes, and where those educational classes going to be at?
Mary Jane's Dank House out on Council. We're down at Plant Meds at Gator Alley. We're going to be here. And anybody that would like to have their community come along, just reach out to us. We'll be glad to help organize your community and work
Cool.
as a collective.
Bringing people together. You bet I love it.
Yes, too many things are trying to like pull us all apart, so we want to like bring us all back together
Unity in the
again.
community. You know how I love that.
Yes.
Yes. And you own your own business, so would you talk a little bit about being a mom and how it is that you're juggling all of this?
She's doing my host part. Them dabs get us going, don't they, man?
We should have never been on that judge team.
Oh, I
together.
mean,
Well, that's
we
it.
worked well together.
Well, the magical thing about like being a mother is just like pay attention to the cannabis plant. You love mama, right? And she
Yes,
gives
ma'am.
and gives and gives and gives and gives. She'll like give you seeds. She'll give you enough medicine to give everyone. She'll give people food. Like she'll give people like so many different resources just from like one seed. And it can provide. And that's why I just don't understand greediness in the industry, because like it's just like more than enough to give for everybody.
There should be yeah, that's in my opinion too. I love that. I'm the old hippie. In fact, I love your hat.
Well, thank you.
That's from the old hippie style. Is that retro?
Actually, I lived up in Northern California, and my style is influenced from like Laytonville, California,
I dig it.
and
Cool.
Hayfork.
Okay.
So yeah.
But I love how the plant, like you're saying, how the plant can give us so much, because it's not like a tree that can, specific, it can give us wood pulp and stuff like that, paper and everything like that. The cannabis plant can give us our meds, can give us hempcrete. It just goes on and on the amount of products we can get from it.
Not only that, cultivating it and just like touching it, like she can start speaking to you, mama will speak to you. And so that's why I started my company Higher Purpose, because my purpose is to bring more and more people to nature so the plant can speak to them in all the ways, not just consuming it.
Right.
Like touching the soil, removing those water leaves, taking
That
it away.
is, see, that's so zen to me. But I love stepping into a grow. Whenever I step into a grow, the atmosphere is just different. It feels like I'm at home, and a plant's welcoming there, and the smells. And I just love it.
No, you can tell if they're happy, if they're
Yeah.
sad, what they need. They're speaking to you. And
I love because you watch them getting ready, because they get used to the light cycle. You can watch them get ready to go to sleep, and wake up.
and
It's so
pray,
cool.
and like praise the light.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But yeah, so watching the plants, I just recognize, because I am the mother of 8. This is my 8th baby.
Oh, really
And
cool.
so I have 5 daughters and 3 sons, and just like seeing the plant, just like I finally saw something that I connected to,
Right.
that I recognized myself as a giving mother, and like sacrificing myself for like the needs of others. And so like that's why I connected to the plant, because I saw myself in her, and I felt like she saw herself in me, and that's how I became Shamama. It was like one day I was
dig it,
big
yeah.
leafing the plants.
Well, I started my own website, and it's the Cannabis Horticulturalist. And today at 4:00, I'm talking about growing cannabis with people with disabilities.
Cool.
Absolutely, because people with disabilities, they're stuck on a income grid that they can't reach the medicine that they need, and actually they lose encouragement to get up and get out of that dang bed every day. But we as growers, we know we can't stop touching it, we can't stop loving it. And so if you can grow a couple little plants in your house, and that gives you the motivation to get up and love and care and have intent to your day and meet more purpose, that's my purpose, to help you as a home grower. So I do a disability class at 4, and I do a home grow getting in the zone
Cool.
at 6:00.
Okay, now we got to cover this. Now, we're seeing this. This is going to be airing Monday. So you do this on a Sunday?
I'm doing this tonight.
So that will be on
Yes,
Sunday night?
Yeah,
Okay,
and
that's, It gets real confusing to stoners, man, because it messes me
Well,
up.
This is the day
Okay.
after
What time, what
Thursday.
day?
All right. Well, the next week my topic will be encouragement in the industry.
There you go, cool. Now, how
So-
can they find you? On your Facebook, or where do you broadcast this?
It's going to be through YouTube, and it's
Okay,
through my
YouTube, right.
webpage. And this is going to be my first launch of it, so
Oh,
we're just
cool.
getting it going.
Exciting.
Well,
So what's your webpage?
Gosh, I'm so honored. I am flattered. The cannabis horticulturalist. Now, what I want to reach is more understanding of the home grower's perspective, how much this can offer them, and then therefore they're going to reach out to more patients and bring us more patients as we double down on learning this new medicine.
Because look, we're talking about home growers. That's what I always talk about. Because I want to find these specific plants. Because I can have six starters and 6 flower. I want to find the ones that works for my hunger, my insomnia, and stuff like that. And that way, I can specifically work on those plants.
Well, I'm gonna let's do this. For those that are afraid of it, get your butts out to wherever you can buy your clone with your med card.
Right.
Take that puppy, pick out the best one. I mean, like,
But don't
pretend
buy
like-
your clones at a dispensary. Like,
Okay.
no fun
Yeah,
girl.
no.
No.
Well,
hang
I
Do
know
on.
some-
not buy your clones at a
All right.
dispensary.
All right. Okay. Now that
Gotta
we're
be
being-
clear.
Now
You gotta
we're
be
jerking her
clearly
tail.
side Damn. All right. Hopefully your dispensary's selling quality clones. You can
Not
buy
in
one, take it,
Oklahoma.
put it in your window, and just because of the flip of light, it's gonna make little buds for you.
Now that would be an auto, right?
No, you can do that anytime.
Well, yeah, but you know,
okay.
you want.
Did you see me at Halloween with that garlic ranks? I mean,
did.
I had the cutest that thing. Whenever I wanted anybody's attention, I was going. Everybody go. Oh, hi! I'm going to talk to you about cannabis.
Yeah, cool.
I got your terpene attention.
I
No.
love you've got my
Yes.
terpene attention. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
buy a clone. What are you going to spend? $20? Whoop de doo.
Yeah.
Okay, put $20 into your clone. That should be. If you're more than that, you $20. Okay, take the thing home, put it in your windowsill just like a house plant, and just watch.
There you go. Don't overwater, right? She
no,
does like
do not
Stress
overwater.
her out a little bit.
Cannabis came from the desert. And that's the sativa, right?
Right, and she
it
wants
has
to
little
fight,
tiny
too.
leaves.
Yeah.
It has
Yeah,
little
she
tiny
has to
leaves,
struggle.
right?
Mhm.
And those little tiny leaves are because they're in the desert when they formed their seed characteristics. So those little tiny fingers are made where
Shooting
you're
towards the
going
sky.
to, where
I
you're,
like that
it's
idea.
going to pull out the moisture from the sky, run it down the plant into the root. Indicas from a tropical area, it's fat leaves hang it down out like that. That's
So
when
you
that
catch the
condensate
water.
catches the water away from the root. Basic horticulture stuff
That
like
is a
that.
great
So if you want
explanation.
some more information, I'm available. I'm going to be doing
She
pop-ups.
She's gonna be here all week too, right?
Yeah.
Get your notepads
Wait a
out.
minute.
She offers. She
Yes,
also offers herself for a fee. You can just pick her brain.
Yeah.
I
What's
do
it
have a
called?
pick. I have a pick my brain fee. Yes, I do.
You've got
Yes,
it. Yeah, we
absolutely.
didn't mention that.
And I'm going to be doing some pop-ups. You know, $20, 10 minutes. Bring me whatever you want. I'm
Cool.
going to help you.
But
out
to
with
bring
that.
it back to like the home growing plants, the other good reason for it is back to the water leaves. So 6 to 12 water leaves is a great serving size to do like a juicing cannabis regimen, to like add it to your smoothies or just
Right.
like juice it or whatever you can use it for, because the way that the laws are and the regulations, like we have to at grows throw those away, and those are considered
Right, yeah.
waste. And
But
so
as
you
a home
can't
grower, yeah.
you can actually have access to that medicine.
Now I like that because you can use it both ways. You can decarb it,
Mm.
or you can not decarb it, and you can put it just in basically anything you want. You know, like a yogurt in the morning. You know, I just crumble the leaves up. You know, it's with the granola and stuff like that, or in jellies and jams and stuff.
Yeah, did you know, like, back in, like, I guess this is before I was born, they used to use the green caps, the water leaves, when they would dry up, they would put them in capsules, and they would use that for high blood pressure.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Cool.
And
I
so,
love the
like,
education.
just
of
like
it, yeah.
being up in the mountains, you start learning like all the different ways that people
Yeah.
use the plant
Absolutely.
for way more ways than getting high.
Oh yeah, that's what I always go back to. You know, no matter what you use it for, you know, you're really using it for medicinal. Even if you
Right.
think you're just getting high, you're really not. You know, some way you're using it, some way.
Yeah, you're
medicinal.
feeling better, which is making you feel high.
Feeling better, yeah. You might have a high pressure job, which I've had a lot of those. You know, you calm down after the evening and stuff.
Yeah, that's why I called my gardening class for home grows getting in the zone.
Cool.
Yeah, because you know, it's what kind of zone are you in? Do you understand the zone that you're growing in?
Right.
What kind of zone is your mental zone in? Together with that marriage, you create your own blend. You know, everybody can grow GG, right? Everybody can grow GG.
I dig it. Well, see, that's it. That's what I'm
what's the
working on.
difference? The way you love it.
Oh, the baby
Oh,
girl.
that's a-
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Yeah.
Look at
This
this
really
face.
look
Oh,
up.
this is like a
Wake it up.
face. Say hello.
Happy
Happy Mother's
Oh,
Day.
yeah.
Oh, look, she said Happy Mother's
Oh,
Day.
Yes, she is. She's
Oh,
saying hi. Happy
baby
Mother's Day.
girl.
Yes. Sweet.
Sweet.
Man, it is humid here in Oklahoma.
Oh yes, ma'am. It does get humid here. Have you ever been down to Louisiana?
Oh yeah, so
Oh, yeah, I've been to
I
Louisiana,
used to
too.
live out in Denham Springs for a little bit. And
Now, if you are from Northern California and up in the mountains, yeah, there's a.
well, I was born and raised in Texas,
Okay, cool.
but then-
Oh, yeah.
but then I rebelled against my Texas
Mm-hmm.
and went up there.
Oh, I understand. I'd have rebelled against Texas too.
Yeah, just because like it's just really sad that the reason why they're against cannabis is so they can have their oil-filled jobs, and it's pretty much the main reason. It's like no other
yeah.
more reason than that.
And
Oh, we
that's
can-
a whole nother network I'd like to have. A whole
Oh
nother
yeah, we start
discussion
talking
on the
about oil and the
Huh.
oil and stuff and
Yeah.
hemp because I'm a big hempcrete. I'd like to see paper replaced with hemp. You know.
Same,
Yeah.
hempcrete homes are
Yeah.
amazing.
Absolutely. Again, that's sustainability.
And we were talking about the tiny homes because we have several veterans communities, and you know, veterans. A lot of us like to be alone, you know, by ourselves. So we could do a tiny home made out of hempcrete. I think that would be a fantastic program.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Well, what about
Cost-
some
so
of these
many
big
ways.
grows, these
Cost-effective
big
and
successful
help so-
people, the people that really got into
I
it?
just like imagine
What
like man
about-
caves.
I know.
Schools.
We'll get man
Right.
What about these
Yeah.
old
All
churches?
over.
Well,
I mean,
we've got some
where
that,
we can help the, you know, economically, we're having a hard time surviving.
right.
All right, across the board in any job scenario.
Right.
So if we could help out with housing and more commune living that we knew about.
You bet.
Okay.
Okay,
and
we
the-
can look at our vets because if we got our vets out here, we got a huge grow out here.
And they come
Let's
into
put
a
vets
central
all the way around it.
kitchen,
Yeah.
and they had the proper food and encouragement, because you know what? Working on self's the number one.
Right.
We have a mission to work on self so that when we pass,
Well,
we're
that's what we're all
satisfied
doing,
with
yeah.
ourselves.
But
Right.
look at the
No,
security.
but I
we have.
really hear what you're saying though about having a space for vets, because like hearing like if they watch too much of the news or whatever, that could stress
Right.
them out about what's
Right.
going on.
Yeah, more
So they really need a
camaraderie.
safe space to where they don't have those outside influences, so they
Exactly.
can have, you know, it's something without internet.
And
'Cause
they
it's
like being
that's where
around
ideas
other
are created.
vets, you know, because they can talk
That brotherhood.
openly. Yeah, brotherhood.
And they
Brother
have
and sisterhood.
understanding.
You know, hey,
Yeah,
we got
brother
our
and
brothers and
sisterhood.
sisters out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In any genre.
Yeah.
So as we start developing more groups will come forward, subgroups. And I'm like, more power to you. If you want to copy this idea, go for it. Thank you.
All right, right on. They're giving us a deal. We're going to take another break. I'm sitting here talking to my good friend Shamama. Okay, cool.
Shamama.
Shamama.
Shamama. I was
Whatever
so
mama you
close.
want.
So close. I hate that.
Whatever mama you need.
And Pamela Sativa. And oh, I'm so sorry. Okay,
You talked about her mother. She just said,
Hey, I
I
was
had it.
talking.
Okay,
positive.
intervention.
Okay, we're going to take a
Thank
short
you.
break. You're
Happy
watching
Mother's
Wake and Bake with
Day.
Old School and Co. Hope
Baby
you toke up
mom
and tune back
duties.
in. Ping.
Bye.
Yeah, yeah. high, but the price is low. Only way I come down on the price is if you buying bulk. Tree funds, got a green thumb, I feel like I'm the hoe. Never knew.
Fashion, high fashion, high fashion, yeah, fashionista, yeah, fashion killer, fashionista, yeah, fashionista, fashion over, wardrobe, yeah, designer clothes, yeah, fashion show, this a fashion hoe, touch your toes, she look like Britney, hey, really big, Scotty got me up, drip from next season, I look clean as fuck, if I really.
Niggas mad at write my shit off top, niggas ain't getting high like this. Yeah, big gas on a night like this.
Welcome back to Wake and Bake with OldSchoolAndCo. I hope you're toking up and tuning in, because you know I do them tokes and dabs on the breaks. I'm sitting here talking to my good friend Justin and Nine. Right on, brother. We were covering some great subjects on the break. Now, it was all about veterans, and you know how I like veterans.
Yes.
All right, we were talking about a specific strain of weed cannabis that you got growing, and you're one of the limited grows that has this.
Yeah, old school. I'm actually honored and blessed to be able to carry this strain.
Right on.
Just because of what it means. It comes from Project 22,
Mm-hmm.
which is in reference to the fact that we lose 22 veterans a day to suicide, and I believe that is in part because of the way the VA system is set up, and veterans not being able to access the medicinal cannabis that they need.
Right.
So this strain was developed by veterans for veterans. It's called Project 22. And
I dig that, yeah.
We're super excited to be carrying it to, spread awareness.
Right on. And like you were saying, there's just 3 grows in the United States that are carrying this right now?
Yeah, there's only a handful of people that have it.
There's
a guy on the East Coast, there's a guy on the West Coast. The gentleman that gave it to me.
Cool.
We have it.
And like I said, you're working with this to raise awareness for veteran suicides. Now, this not only because the veterans that we lose by their own hands, but they're veterans that accidentally overdose and die from the opiates and stuff that they're on.
Absolutely.
You bet all
Absolutely.
the pills. Because we know the salad that VA puts you on, in my opinion. It's hydrocodone, Xanax, Seroquel, Neurontin,
Gabapentin.
Yeah. All them miles we walk,
right.
They put us on a lot of that gabapentin.
Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah, that's a favorite.
And I've seen.
It's hard to get off that shit too.
It is hard to get off
Hands and all
that.
that.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
That's one thing. Now, again, I got off all those drugs with a large amount of cannabis.
Yeah, it seems to help a lot of people, trying to transition off of a certain, dependency in that regard.
No, it absolutely does.
Well, I can bring up when I was on all those drugs, I'd have to get up to the bathroom 4 or 5 times a night. I hate it. You don't get good sleep. You don't get good REM sleep. And you're always tired.
Yeah.
Now that I'm off all them drugs, and I say I'll take a drug test any time to show you that I'm off them drugs, and I will.
Yeah.
But I sleep all night long. I do my RSO in the evening, and I can sleep all night long. I go to sleep about 11, 12 o'clock at night. I wake up 6, 7 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah. The RSO thing, just to bring that up, that's kind of like what I'm doing right now is working with Hopper from Remedy Gardens. He kind of contracts to a company that I've joined up with called FuelX, and we produce something called a RHO, which is it's rosin hash oil, or referred to as rich hopper oil.
Okay, cool.
So it's a solventless, bubble hash pressed into this and then decarboxylated, and just put it.
I have not tried that yet.
Yeah, it's sort of something that it's sort of this JARTech new technology that's kind of come about. It's kind of been known about for a while, but just kind of putting things into action and sort of like bringing new products to the market that aren't in this area. It's kind of like where we're at with that stuff right now, and it's all like with Remedy Gardens, it's all single source stuff, you know. So it's stuff that, you know, product that Hopper's grown through Remedy Gardens, and then process into this. And they're working on a dispensary too for just
Oh, yeah?
the complete line, you know, to be single source.
Because we all know I like hash.
Yeah. That's
I,
kinda-
or THC in any form I like.
Yeah.
And I would like to try that. That sounds
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah, we can definitely get you some.
Okay, yeah.
And maybe bring Hopper on here because he's kind of the Rich Hopper, you know. It's
Yeah.
sort of he's been working on this a long time, you know, and it's kind of, I know he's tried it a lot of different avenues, a lot of different places, you know. And it's honoring to be a part of it right now, you know.
Oh,
just
right on. I know what
to
you
bring
mean.
this stuff out with a legend, you know.
Mhm.
And you know, and it's also Johnny Richter owns a portion of Remedy Gardens, who's the Cottonmouth King. So it's just the whole line of this. It's just the roots, the history. You know, it's like, and I'm from, you know, Southern California myself. Well, I grew up near Yosemite, and then
Okay.
kind of moved to LA for film school and stuff like that. And you know, in the beginning, there's a large company called Kaindoki out here that you know, they bought 20 acres from us out in California.
I know kind of.
Yeah, so Fred and Greg,
Yeah.
the owners of that, they bought some property from us out in California, and then, you know, through lobbyist sort of things, the permits, at the same time they bought property out here, but the permits out there kind of went on hold for, like I said, lobbyist groups. You know, they sort of, it's like big farming companies get involved, you know, and it's like it's sort of, they released a certain amount of licenses for the area, you know. Santa Barbara County is specifically.
Now
what
they
I'm
got
talking about.
restrictions out there on licenses.
Oh, big time, yeah. So
Oh,
I mean,
really?
and you have to. Well, yeah. There's only a certain amount allowed in it per capita.
It's like a liquor license.
Yeah.
Like they only sell a certain number per county, and then once
then
they're
too bad,
gone,
so
like,
sad, yeah.
it's the
Yeah,
older,
and
like,
I mean,
you know.
it's regulation, you know, at its finest. But you know, and it sucks to say, but there's a
So I
need.
love the Wild Wild
Yeah,
West.
I know, right?
You know what I mean? Okay, if you got $2,500 and you want to grow,
Yeah.
grow. I'm
Yeah,
good
right.
for you.
It's
Bet.
that point in between medical and rec, you know, is where
Yeah.
where we all
Yeah.
sort of I don't know.
There you
But
go.
anyways, you know, it's just sort of, so anyways, that all kind of came out here, and that's my brother Joe and I, you know, sort of came out with that, and it's just been a ride ever since then, the Wild West. You know,
Hey,
I
it
was,
is
you
the
know,
Wild
coming
West,
from back
huh?
home, I was like, I got out here and it's like, it's lawless, you know. I'm just like, this is
So
insane. I'm
what
like,
are you saying that that jar tech is basically a jar tech RSO?
Yeah, but it's solventless. So
Okay.
so at that point, it's a, you know, and without giving away too many secrets, you know, Jartec is sort of coming about, you know. And it's
Right.
like, you see this hard.
But it still maintains all the same medicinal properties?
Yeah, it's full melt, full
Nice,
spectrum.
nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's full, complete. You know, there's nothing. Yeah, so everything's
great.
in that, you know,
Cool.
coming out with it. So and the terpene preservation is amazing. The stuff.
Yeah, that I love them Terps, man.
Right.
You bet.
Yeah, we have this a strain of OG glue that's hoppers, and man, that stuff, it's like, I took a double dose. It's like you take like a rice grain size, you know, and it's like I took a double dose of that stuff the first time. It was like, for 2 days I was like, fuck you up. Excuse me.
See, but what we have to remember is, like, what these guys are doing is super special.
Right.
And we're kind of coming back around to the main topic here. My uncle, he was a black hat sniper in living in Alabama, come down with cancer.
Right.
I tried to get him RSO, but he would not do it because he would lose all of his VA benefits.
I dig it.
And it killed him.
Yeah.
You know, but what those guys are working on, it cures cancer. And there's veterans out here, and there's people out here that can't get it,
Mm-hmm.
that need it.
I know.
And
I
that's
agree.
why it's so important to spread the awareness about it.
And that's what we keep working on, is those that Penny RSO program, for cancer patients. And Rodney Bowers, he was on the show the other day. We're working to educate people on how to grow, how to
Right.
make your own RSO at home.
Right.
Because that's what I would say. Now he's got full spectrum RSO, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I always say, people, if you can find the specific strain that you like and it works for you, and if you got more, you're gonna have more than one strain that you're gonna like too. You can mix them together.
Morning and night.
Yeah, you get morning,
midday.
night. Yeah, because I do that. I make my own hybrids. I'll take an indica, I'll take a sativa, I'll mix them together. You bet.
Yeah, I find with the RHO stuff, you know, it's a little bit in the morning, you know, and it's basically, you know, you're kind of smoking for flavor throughout the day. You know,
Right.
It's the longevity of it is incredible, you know, and it's interesting.
And
Yeah,
the
it's nice.
flavor, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
And on top of that, like, so this also Fuel X, we have a product coming out called Dabby Patty, and it's
Oh,
yeah, so it's basically kind of a Krabby Patty thing within the icing, but it's full spectrum too.
Okay,
and
cool.
We the lab we contract through is very state of the art, so everything's just it's really neat working up there right now to be
Right.
part of that. It's just
Because we can bring up distillate, Okay, now I've done distillate. The thing I don't like about distillate, it hits me
It's
quick and it
strict,
goes
though.
away quick.
yeah.
Now I think there is a place
There's-
for it,
there's a
but
certain
yeah.
So there's a thing called the entourage effect, and that
I
is your
like this guy.
and that's your terpene
Yeah, yeah.
profiles.
You bet.
Like you have, so that's the reason why you'll have a sativa over here that will wake you up and it'll get you going and get your brain going. But you also have this indica over here that I'm only gonna smoke it when I'm off of work. I'm sitting on the couch, like I'm ready to go to bed.
Right.
That's the terpene profile, but it's the entourage effect of all of those terpenes and cannabinoids, all those things working together to create one result.
Exactly. And see, I'm retired, so I'm not working anymore. So I'm at the house a lot, and I can do my pain. What I do, the indica for my pain, and I can mix it with a sativa to get my hybrid where I'm not taking naps all day long or
Right.
anything like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm keep trying to find the stuff that gives me the good munchies. I'm looking for that good munchy marijuana. You
Yeah,
bet.
I find myself straying away from that. But there's a time and
See,
place and
most
need
people
for it.
do, but I used to weigh 180 pounds and I'm
Yeah.
down to 123, and I need to gain weight
Yeah.
back, and it's hard to do, especially at 70 years old. I don't eat as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I'm not burning the energy I used to.
Well, yeah. Well.
On that note right there, we're going to take a break. You're sitting here watching Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I'm sitting here with my good friend Justin and Nine. Right on. We got a lot
Yeah,
of
man.
subjects to cover. You
Pleasure,
bet.
yeah.
Ping!